Hello everyone. Thank you for your participation to the special talk. We are honored to welcome our distinguished guest from India. I would like to introduce Dr. Deshpande to you all. His present status is General Secretary of the National Association of Physical Education and Sport in India. And also he is Director of HVPN. And he contributed as Principal Deputy College of Physical Education and Lavati from 1993 to 2000. He got PhD by Napur University in 1978. Napur University is established and recognized by the Government of India and the University Grants Commission, New Delhi. He majors in ancient knowledge of body culture in relation to traditional sports. He has a large research achievements, including books, articles, and international conferences. And his son and his family live in Tsukuba City. And his daughter-in-law, Sumeda-san, is present at this meeting. And surprisingly, her daughter will enter University of Tsukuba from this autumn. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So, Dr. Deshpande will give us 30 minutes lecture on the topic of health and fitness through traditional sports and games. We'd like to have a question and answer session afterwards. So, Dr. Slash, please begin when you are ready.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sanat, Dr. Randeep, and faculty members of this great university, as well as the student fellows here, those who are attending the lecture. I am very much thankful to you all for the time you have spared for me. See, first of all, let me shortly introduce the institution to which I belong. The institution is called HVP Mandal, that is Hanuman Vyayam Prasarak Mandal. It's in Amravati city of Vidarbha region of Maharashtra in India. And it has got a standing of about more than 100 years. It has founded in the year 1914, and still since then it has been propagating the traditional sports all over the world. So far we have visited about 20 cities and also various countries, and had demonstrations of our traditional activities there. The most honorable thing was that in 1936 Berlin Olympics, our team was invited there to demonstrate our traditional activities over there. That was the first of its kind in India to have a demonstration of our traditional activities on the international platform. So in 1936, after that 49 again, we had Lingard Festival in Sweden, and the team was invited there. About 20 persons from our college, they went there and had a demonstration, participated in large festival of Lingard called in Sweden, Switzerland. And then afterwards we had continuously touring various countries and giving demonstrations of our traditional activities. So we have got a College of Physical Education run under this HVP Mandal, that is autonomous college and multi-faculty college. It runs 3 years degree course, that is BPE, Bachelor of Physical Education, plus 2 years master degree course. So this is in short the introduction of our institution. So now we will go further. This background we have to view now about the paper that I am presenting here. So the global movement, health and fitness, it is and the health and fitness has become very important because the inactivity leads to the various diseases, and the activity keeps us moving. So health and fitness is the increasing program of different international bodies like UNESCO and WHO. UNESCO has undertaken one campaign called Access to Sport as a Fundamental Right of All. So that was the point on the agenda of the general body in the of the UNESCO. And WHO is also working for the health. IOC has got the patronage given to the Sports for All movement, and celebrates 21st June as the World Yoga Day. In the yesterday only, it was celebrated throughout the world, this Yoga Day. And then we have been celebrating the traditional sports festival of India since 90 years of tradition with that. So it was a global movement, no doubt, but we are now going to the competitive sports side. How the competitive sports are thrilling, they are adventurous, they are exhilarating and full of mind-blowing performances. They attract attention of common man, but they are away from the common man. The persons like you and me cannot participate in the international type of sports or those sports or games that are played internationally. So these performances you find that cricket, pole vault, Roman rings, 100-meter dash and football goal post, how they are. The limitations of possibilities that obstruct their spread in masses. That I have studied the competitive sports from the point of view of their limitations and possibilities. What are their possibilities, limitations and possibilities? They are unethical practices like doping and betting. So the doping practice is much more common in international sports, though it has been banned by the WADA, that is World Anti-Doping Organization. So passive spectatorship is increased, TV viewers and strength of the stadium audience, you can see very well. Doping, the high recurring cost is there, and play surfaces, synthetic, artificial or turf type of surfaces are required for playing different games. So it's very difficult for the common man to participate in such type of sports. Indoor structures are required. So you find that very big gymnasium, very big indoor basketball stadium, volleyball stadium, tennis type of games. So all those are indoors and they require a lot of infrastructure facilities. Then sports technology is involved in much more way in this traditional, in this competitive sports, because that technology is beyond the reach of common man. So he doesn't understand how to play that game, or it's very difficult for them to participate in them. So multi-complex sports facilities, they need large area of land, and for which the agricultural land is sacrificed. So if some big cities want to build their stadia or such sports facilities, they have to go outside the city, and where there is a agricultural land that is sacrificed for the sake of sports. So that is these are the demerits of this. Then to provide these sports to the doorstep of the masses is just an illusion. You cannot think of common man to participate in these competitive sports. To run after promoting these competitive sports is like pursuing the mirage. So it's very difficult for the common man. So on this background, I have compared these traditional sports. Traditional sports, they are survived through centuries. They are rejuvenated and rolled down to present period. They show the sustainability of their existence. They are the sports of the masses and games of the soil. They don't need much area. Every child, youth or adult or game or enjoys folk dances irrespective of gender, participate in traditional sports. So traditional sports are important from this point of view. Other merits are there. They don't need large grounds or costly consumable equipment. They are simple in design and workout, suitable in all weather conditions with low cost, space, time and equipment. Then capable of promoting values of life and health related fitness. They have their own ethics, aesthetics and mass appeal. Here is a traditional sports festival that I had told to you earlier that we celebrate in India. So I'll show you small video clipping of this. This is the institution since 1914, 105 years of existence, safeguarding and promotion of Indian traditional sports and games. We are accredited member of UNESCO and it's TAFISA, Sports for All. We invite various people as guests of honor. Every year we hold this festival in the month of October. These are various activities that we conduct every year, and many people participate in it. Now we shall go to the poster. This poster was presented there in the Berlin at the time of UNESCO General Body meeting in 2013. So the poster here depicts the two globes. The first one shows elite sports or sports of classes, means all those competitive sports and games currently played at international, Olympic and world level. Their area on globe is marked at the top. This sports area, sports for classes. Then the middle portion of the globe is filled with spectators or viewers, or also those deprived of exercise and sports. This large portion of the globe is filled with the persons, those who don't get any chance, but those who are passive spectators watching the games and sports there, or those who don't have the opportunity for exercise and sports. The lower portion depicts traditional sports that are meant for masses. However, it is also restricted to a smaller area, maybe due to media support and business approach enjoyed by competitive sports. So, here in sports, you will find the various fallouts of elite sports. I have said fallout because they are like this: careerism and commercialism, passive spectatorship, heavy budget, possibility of unethical practices, doping and all. Then physiological limits, threshold, focus on selected few and drifting away from the masses. These are the reasons why these sports are not reached to the common person. Then the second globe tries to show the means to reduce passive viewership and to bridge the gap between the two categories of sports, that's elite sports and traditional sports. The elite sports demand high performances and therefore beyond the reach of common man. Traditional sports are easily accessible to a common man. This also includes yogic practices easily taken up by the people of all age groups and both genders. Lesser infrastructure is needed, low cost is there, delivering health and fitness values are some of the special features of traditional sports and games. Then therefore there is a vast scope of extending boundaries of these sports, thereby reducing passive viewership. The national government should give more weightage to TSG, that is traditional sports and games, including yoga, in their sports policy. Then only access to sport as a fundamental right of all may become possible. So, a short conclusion is promotion of traditional sports would be justifiable under such circumstances for easy access to sports as a fundamental right for all for the health and fitness. But at the same time, competitive sports should be continued for the deserving sports persons in view of their spectatorship value and the curiosity to know human performance level. Now I have brought to you the traditional Indian sports demo. Oh.
Shri Hanuman Jayam Prasarak Mandal, HVPM, has been promoting and safeguarding the Indian traditional sports and games since 1914. In over 100 years of its existence, HVPM, through its young volunteers and athletes, has demonstrated Indian TSG across 50 major cities of the world and over 400 Indian cities with an objective of promoting health and fitness among the youth. It is well recognized for its efforts by UNESCO and serves the Intergovernmental Committee in advisory capacity as an accredited NGO. Mallakhamb. The name is a combination of two words, Malla and Kham. Malla means the wrestler, Kham means the pole. Almost 1200 years ago, when wrestlers found it difficult to find a sparring partner, they started to develop a technique to spar with a pole. As the time went by, the sparring technique became a sport in itself. All the maneuvers that the wrestlers used to try with the pole became a sport called Malakham. Malakham is the best exercise to maintain flexibility and strength of the body. In the video, we can see a young man performing various yogic poses on the Malakham. Stomach balance.
So in this way, various exercises are performed, asanas are performed on this single pole. Now you will see the rope malkham. The rope is developed there in India, and various exercises are performed on this rope malka. So let us see how.
प्ले करून टाका.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your fire lectures. And then now we have some question and answer time. And do we have some comments or questions?
Where can I find a rope? We imported out of the my training. This is insane. Gosh. Since I need to go internship in India. Yes, I need to do.
Yeah.
This is crazy. But I have a question on the health part between the elite athlete and then the common athlete. Is it whatever it is, like if I do a sport wherever somebody's running, like a high competition level or low level, the health system or the way that the energy that they use for their body is different. So how sometimes not doing it too much is not good for the body because it tends to injury, but doing it too much as an elite athlete can also risk to injury. So is there like a technique to balance to be between the common man and the elite athlete into the sport area, whatever it is, the sport, but whatever the sport is. Is it a balance that was?
What is question?
So is it like if a common man don't do too much sport, it risks to injury, right? But if an elite athlete do too much sport, it also risks to injury. So there's not really a balanced schedule, it just depends on the person, right? Yeah.
balance
I don't know if you
commentating. Balance का
So, you see, elite sports, they are not for common person, one thing. The traditional sports are meant for them only. So, there should be in a policy two different programs, one for elite class athletes and another for common persons. The traditional sports is for common persons. So that way, the policy, national policy, when the, is chalked out, at that time, this balance should be kept.
Thank you.
And this, comment. This sport, Malakam, has the current champion is the Japanese woman world champion. She is the current world champion, Malakam. She's Japanese, not Indian. So, by chance, yeah. So it has become popular in Japan, this sport.
I was there to witness the World Championship held at Bombay 2 years ago. So at that time, Japan was there to participate. So different countries also came there. But Japanese girl was better.
Yeah, she's the world champion. Actually.
So now Malakam is spread across,
Noel.
more in Indian.
Yeah, so what happened when the traditional sports become into an elite sport? Then your thesis can be that both have to be like financed by government also, or what happens then when traditional sports become an elite one? Because for example, let's say those games become like very popular and it becomes to an elite one. What happens there?
So it goes away from the common persons. Once it is entered into the elite sports, then the performance level is very high and common man cannot do that. So for his health purpose, health or fitness, he doesn't require a high performance as such. So there is no need of having competition there, but cooperation is there. So we have not a competition but a cooperation in traditional sports. Not emotion but motion. We practice in motion, not emotions. The competitive sports, they are emotionally very filled up. So emotions are there. And sometimes the prestige of the nation is at stake in losing or winning the match. So that should not be there. That should not be there. And our message is to propagate the traditional sports for the masses so that they can participate in it and maintain their health and fitness. You can see very well that the exercises that are performed there, they are not of very high skill, but to the reach of the common man, and they perform it. So they maintain the health. We have got several systems there. Yogic system is there. Then another is the traditional the squats done by Turkey. That's also there. So there is a tradition scope for the common man to participate in it, but not in elite sports. So the developing countries particularly, those who cannot develop this much of infrastructure that is required for the elite sports, can have the option of traditional sports. That's the thing.
Any question? You are from near Maharashtra.
Not a question, but just thinking that like kabaddi was a traditional sport, but now it has become a
International.
elite sport with pro kabaddi league. So, kabaddi.
Yes.
So, do you think it's still reachable to common man, or is it become now elite sport?
In original form, it is maintained there in Kabaddi also.
It's played in Punjab.
Yeah. In Punjab, in Maharashtra also. So on ground they play Kabaddi, but not the mat Kabaddi. And that is, that IPL is there. But unless it is patronized by some rich company, you cannot go ahead with this elite sport as Kabaddi. But for you will find in villages, in Indian villages, very common sport is there. Kabaddi, Kho-Kho is there, then Atya-Patya is there. So there are certain games that they are practiced. Even wrestling also. Wrestling, we have got mud wrestling, and they are enjoyed. They enjoy that mud wrestling, but not the elite sports. They, for you can find out if the mat is there. Suppose wrestling mat is there. So wrestling mat, to bring a wrestling mat is a costly affair. For that you require again infrastructure, hall. You require audience. The stadium are built not not for the players, but for the spectators. How many spectators can be accommodated in the stadium? It depends upon that. So gate money is collected. So commercialism is there in the sports, elite sports. Commercialism is there, professionalism is there, and careerism is there. So three things are there in elite sports. So they are quite away from the common man. And we can very well defend our traditional sports. It's a culture, and the UNESCO particularly has recognized these traditional sports, and they are brought under the list of intangible cultural heritage. So we are under that category, intangible cultural heritage. And the UNESCO has accredited some of the NGOs as their advisor of the Intergovernmental Committee for Safeguarding Traditional Sports and Games. So our institution is one of such in India that has been accommodated, that has been accredited by the UNESCO, and for the second time it has been because of our continuous propaganda of traditional sports and games. So that's the thing.
Any other question? No comment?
What do you feel about, I'll ask you, what do you feel about traditional sports as compared to the elite sports? Elite sports are, of course, no comparison for traditional sports, because they are at, elite sports they are at higher level, the traditional sports are at mass level. But do you realize the importance of traditional sports or not?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the purpose of my
I think it'd be really great if you have some global promotion type of schematic so you can promote traditional sports abroad so it's accessible to more people that don't have access to other sports.
So we are, you see, I remember in 1972 during Munich Olympic Games, we had a youth and international youth camp there in Germany. So our team of 20 persons went there and participated in the camp, giving demonstrations of our traditional activities. at that time, three items of our program were selected to give demonstration in the Olympic ceremony. So during the gymnastic opening ceremony, the Ken Malkham and Paul Malkham, they were demonstrated there by us. And again in that, earlier in 1936, during Berlin Olympics also, we had formal invitation from the International Olympic Committee through our National Olympic Association, and we went there as a team. About 28 persons went there, and they gave demonstrations of our traditional activities. So traditional activities have their own importance. You cannot disagree with this. But only thing is that they should know the technique and they should follow the sequence of traditional activities. That's the thing.
Then in that case, in every Olympics, the goal, I say the Olympics, but it can be other thing, but I guess Olympics has the brightest view, like people view, like everybody across the world kind of watch the Olympic, even if they didn't watch this year, they watched it the year prior. So to have a demonstration of traditional game, and so every year it's like they invite people to come and celebrate, because Olympics is the elite sport, but it could also be the implementation of traditional sport from other countries, because at the end of the day, it's the celebration of sport all over the world. It doesn't matter if it's elite or not elite, it should be sport all over. So that could be a way also of promoting traditional way.
Yes, that suggestion we have passed on to UNESCO, requesting them to have MOU with the International Olympic Committee to have the demonstration of traditional sports at the time of inauguration or at the time of different sports opening ceremony.
Yeah.
But we don't get a response to that, fortunately.
That's bad. I can go argue with him.
You can become our ambassador.
I'm supporting you.
That's right.
Thank you. Any other comment?
One question, one more. Do international students or players or other people come to India, to your academy?
Yes, they do come, but not of the elite type.
I'm coming.
National level people.
Why I'm asking is because some students, maybe after this seminar and we make video out of it, YouTube, with your permission, then maybe students would be interested to know about Indian traditional sports, because we have a very big diversity of sports. So can they come and there is facility for staying and learning and observing?
Yes, that can be done. That can be done.
We do have infrastructure for that.
And, sorry.
In 60, I think 1960 Olympic Tokyo was the venue, isn't it? At that time, judo was introduced. Judo was traditional sports of Japan. It was introduced there in the Olympics at that time. It was a demonstration game. Similarly, badminton was also traditional sport. It was introduced there in the Olympics, but now it has become a discipline, Olympic discipline. So it has gone away. So people play badminton or judo, but not of that order. They cannot go higher level. They cannot achieve that level. Similarly, the athletics also, you will find the track and field. You cannot think of having high jump to the level of 8 feet or 10 feet. You cannot think of. So it's a human limit over there. So there is a limitation for the this Olympic sports. Human performance is there, but to what extent? It will stop after some time.
Yeah.
But then there is only one other way, that is traditional sports. So the traditional sports at that time will be raised to the level of Olympic sports. So again it will go away. So it's a part of the culture, you know. So traditional sports, it's a part of culture and it should be treated as such. It should not be very high profile sports.
आपल्या इथे मुलं आले तर त्यांना आपल्याकडे इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर आहे ना जरा
Ah,
college.
Yes. We have campus of about very big campus and various sports facilities are there. Traditional sports as well as elite sports also. But the performance of elite sports cannot go up. That's there is a high technology in it, scientific aspect, biomechanics is there, sports medicine is there, sports physiology is there. So lot of investigation is there and the people cannot state to that extent to the tests that are prescribed for the